Spoiler warning if you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine. Wow. Wow. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine 2 weeks ago, and I'm only now just reviewing it because I was just in awe of it. The comedy, the heart, the scale, it was beautifully and masterfully made. Deadpool and Wolverine is a return to form for the MCU that makes me very excited for the future. Let's get into it. Ryan Reynolds is a freaking genius. The amount of times I laughed watching this movie was crazy. He has such good comedic timing and knowledge of pop culture that just makes his movies so fun. Wade's arc in this film is pretty incredible. It's about him wanting to be taken seriously but still not letting his family be taken, which sounds cheesy, and it is, but Ryan just does it so well. Deadpool's full-on musical number to Bye 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 was absolutely hilarious, as was his love for Deadpool. As I said before, this movie is very meta. I loved all the Fox and Disney jokes and was surprised Feige let Ryan cook with the jokes about him and the mess that the multiverse saga has been so far. There was funny jabs at Hugh Jackman and Jennifer Garner's both very public divorces that were very funny. A lot of the best humour comes from the cameos, which I will go into detail about in a second, but first I'd like to talk about the main plot of the TVA. Matthew Macfadyen's paradox is very charming, despite his very villainous and meta plan to wipe away the Fox universe instead of letting it die slowly. The TVA was a great plot device, though I think the whole anchor being thing was just a bit too much of one and just felt like a lame excuse to bring in Wolverine, though that montage scene was very fun. I loved the short Wolverine and of course Henry Cavill, but was disappointed that Hulk only got a quick cameo, not a whole fight. Even though the anchor being concept is very convenient, our main Wolverine variant is excellent. There's a reason Hugh Jackman's portrayal of this character is so iconic. He is so gruff and distant, but still manages to be a fun character through his snarky personality. Plus, he looks great for his age, and seeing him in the yellow suit was so full circle, especially when he put that awesome cowl on. I thought his backstory was a little underdeveloped, and I would have liked to actually see the death of his X-Men, but it was still an emotional arc that worked. An instrumental part of this arc is the return of Daphne Keane as X-23. Fresh off being the best part of the Acolyte, Keane picks up where she left off flawlessly, feeling just like Laura again. Her touching moment with Logan was sadly spoiled in the final trailer, but still was great. I would have liked her to see her don a yellow suit, but maybe she can in another movie because despite her apparent death, she sticks around and gets a happy ending with Logan, which I loved. X-23 is a part of a resistance against Cassandra Nova, who I will get into a second, consisting of old Marvel movie characters in the void. These were Chris Evans as the Human Torch, Wesley Snipes as Blade, Jennifer Garner as Elektra, and my favourite, Channing Tatum, finally getting to play Gambit. Tatum is fantastic, nailing the Cajun accent and the awesome card fight scene. His costume is a little weird but comics accurate. Garner was fine as Elektra, but the only thing that stood out was the Daredevil divorce joke. Snipes was great as Blade, despite his age, turning in some great action sequences. The joke about him being the only Blade was made funnier by Deadpool's reaction, but may just be true with the troubled production of Mahershala Ali's film. One of my favourites was Chris Evans as Human Torch. They had a great twist where you thought he was Captain America, but then said "Flame on" instead of Avengers Assemble. His death was funny and gruesome, as was the post-credits scene. However, I wish it was more of a tease for the future of the MCU, because as it stands, Deadpool and Wolverine are still in the Fox universe. Guess we have to wait for Secret Wars. These cameos were fun, but I was a little disappointed. The Resistance was fighting against Cassandra Nova, who is delightfully played by Emma Corrin. They are so bubbly and wicked, and their powers look so cool, especially that finger move. Cassandra's villainous disciples were very underwhelming, however. They had so many cool X-Men characters like Juggernaut, Toad, Psylocke, and Lady Deathstrike, but they didn't really do anything, and they weren't played by their original actors. The only actors who did return were Pyro and Sabretooth, with Pyro having a fairly big role, but they were mostly one note and didn't have much character. However, these disappointments aren't movie breaking. The last thing I would like to talk about is the Deadpool Corps. Nice Paul was a fun character whose death was very funny, as was when Wolverine walked with Dogpool. As we all predicted, Blake Lively was playing Lady Pool, but only by voice, which was again a bit disappointing, as was Walker Scobell not being Kid Pool. The action sequence, however, was so epic and brutal. Definitely one of the best MCU fights in a while. Overall, Deadpool and Wolverine had everything I wanted. Cameos, humour, and great fight scenes. It was refreshing for the MCU to go this out there and inappropriate, but I'm glad they did. All the performances are great, and whilst the plot is a little convenient and stupid, it still makes for a very fun movie. I'm not sure if it topples Dune Part 2 as my favourite movie of the year, but it just might. 9 out of 10. That was my review for Deadpool and Wolverine. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe and comment your thoughts on this movie. Have a great day. Bye.